If Chapter 120 of Chainsaw Man was the setup, then Chapter 121 would be the punchline of the sick joke that is Asa's life. I know that sounds incredibly harsh, but dear lord, our girl can't catch a break. So in today's chapter review video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into Asa's miserable circumstances as well as Denji's suffocating home environment. And we might even be able to take a guess as to who this new and powerful devil may be. But first, I just want to remind you guys real quick to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content. Thank you guys so much, your support means the world. Now before we jump into what happened this week in Chapter 121, let's quickly look at what you guys thought about Chapter 120. I've linked a poll at the top of the description of this video where you guys can vote on what grade you think this chapter of Chainsaw Man should get. A, B, C, D, or F. And at the beginning of the next chapter review video, we'll go over the overall chapter GPA of this chapter, as well as some of your guys' comments down below on this video. So about 350 people voted, and if that was one of you guys, thank you so much. And after crunching the numbers, we get an overall chapter GPA of 3.68. That's actually kind of technically lukewarm compared to some of the other scores we've gotten over the past few weeks. But the new chapter review poll is live now. It has over 60 votes, so remember to leave your opinion after this video ends. But now let's quickly look at some of your guys' comments. Marco says, Nayuta was too good in this chapter. She only wants to protect Denji for now, but I don't think this personality is going to last long. It's funny Nayuta saying that every woman wants to kill Denji. She was one of them. And we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about that later in this video, so I don't want to spoil too much of what I think about that. Now, I think one of the most important things that happened in last week's chapter was pointed out by a user named Marxist Kobenist, who says, the audacity for Asa to act like literally me on Valentine's Day. I can't believe Fujimoto put a character in his manga that's literally saying, this is you guys. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Remember to leave your thoughts down below on this video as well, and maybe we'll talk about it in the next chapter review video. But for now, let's just jump straight into the heavy stuff, shall we? Today's chapter might have been another short one, only 16 pages long, but there's still plenty to discuss. Ironically, some of the longest chapter discussion videos I've done were for some of the shortest chapters. But today, we started off essentially where we left off last week, with the follow-up to Yoshida asking Asa to keep him company. I spent about 3 hours live last night here on my YouTube channel discussing with chat about what Yoshida's possible intentions with Asa are, but it turns out none of us ended up being correct. Where we thought this was going to end up being some huge plot point revealing Yoshida as the true secret villain of the series. You know, maybe he's trying to tie up loose ends from the aquarium incident. You know, maybe he's just trying to Denji, I don't know. But it turned out this moment served more as development for Asa's melancholy feelings. She gets attention from the opposite sex, which raises her hopes of her thinking that someone actually wants to be around her. Then she gets her heart broken when she inevitably finds out that this wasn't actually the case. And it's sad to watch how Asa totally misreading the situation led to her thinking that she might be better off dead because she can't connect with another person. And I'd like to think Yoda's reaction to that was, if she dies, I'm so fucked. I'm technically still on the fence with Yoshida. He totally gives off secret villain energy, and I think Fujimoto knows this and leans into it just to keep us on our toes. Until we physically see him do something crazy, he's just another dodgy character. I kind of like how he's so above all of this high school bullshit that he doesn't mind blatantly disrespecting the Devil Hunter Club by using their space and making coffee without their permission. Funny enough, when part 1 was coming out, I was actually a pretty big Yoshida fan. I don't know, I guess I just kind of liked his whole mysterious badass vibe. But for the past 2 years, my keyring has been a Hirofumi Yoshida keyring, even though he's just gotten shadier and shadier as part 2 goes on. And yes, I understand that my collectible keyring is in just absolute dog shit condition. I do keep it in my pocket with all my other shit. Not that you guys had to know any of this, I just feel comfortable sharing my life with you. So Asa's now down in the dumps to the point where she's questioning if her life is even worth living. Which, fair enough, I probably would have given up as soon as I had to share half my brain with a psychotic war deity. I have enough voices already, there's not enough room for one more. But it's also worth noting the suffocating environment that Denji has to put up with. Sure, he has a close and loving relationship with Nayuta, but, and I'm gonna use a word that a lot of people seem to blatantly misuse, it is a toxic living environment. Nayuta may love and want to protect Denji, but he's clearly gutted by the fact that he can never have a real relationship when she's around. And Nayuta clearly has no intention to ever let Denji have a real relationship based off of the fact that she said being loved by everyone as Chainsaw Man is better than having a girlfriend anyway. Honestly, kind of fucked up. Denji's getting gaslit by his adopted little sister. Which brings me to my next big point. I think Nayuta is still just another big Chainsaw Man fan like Makima was. This part of her personality or memories, seems to have transcended reincarnation. And this is pretty clearly showcased by Nayuta trying to push Denji out the door as Chainsaw Man just so she can watch. I think what'll be different from Makima this time, though, is that Nayuta probably does care a great deal about Denji himself, not just Chainsaw Man. And maybe a good character arc for her could be realizing that Denji is more important to her than Chainsaw Man, and that she's actively hurting him with overprotection. This is all not to say that their relationship isn't the cutest thing on the planet, but I reckon dealing with Nayuta's shit is probably part of the reason why Denji looks so tired all the time in part 2. Now, today's chapter may have ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, that cliffhanger being who is this powerful devil that Asa's found herself face to face with, but I'm not so sure we don't know. Wouldn't the obvious answer be the Justice Devil coming back for revenge? Sure, there isn't a lot of information in the chapter that points to this being the case, but I think the Justice Devil snafu is probably the biggest plot point in part 2 so far that hasn't been tied up yet. Actually, that's a lie. There's a bunch of shit in part 2 that hasn't been tied up, but I think we need to get through the Justice Devil first. The one thing I think could point to this being the case was that it looked like the residents could have been controlled to throw that man off of the balcony to his death. Maybe he clogged the toilet with a turbo shit that ruined the plumbing of the entire apartment building, and the Justice Devil thought that this crime was worthy enough of the death penalty. I don't know, this just makes more sense to me. We gotta wrap this shit up with the Justice Devil so we can talk about some horsemen. But hey, have you ever wanted to see what an entire Chainsaw Man manga collection looks like? I have. Almost every volume of Chainsaw Man right here. One thing I did save to open in this video, though, is my new copy of Chainsaw Man Buddy Stories. So, how about we open up some fresh manga? That's a short clip from my new manga collection tour video, which you guys can watch right now. I'll have a link to that in the description down below, but I'll also have a link for it on your screen right now. So I'll catch you guys in 2 weeks for chapter 122, but stick around on my channel because there's going to be much more fun content. I'll catch you guys later.